Hello, good evening and welcome to News 360, coming to you live from our studio here at Adesawe Kanda in Accra. I am Martin Esiedudate.
And I am Grace Hamwajuman. Coming up tonight.
News 360 headlines is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint,
Pepsodent Charcoal and Pepsodent Herbal,
Ecobank, Nero Prime Water.
Government lays Minerals and Mining Royalty Regulations 2012 before Parliament, introducing variable royalty bands linked to global commodity prices.
Also in the bulletin, 4 persons have died in 2 separate bee attacks in the Accra North and the Anloga districts of the Volta region in a spate of a week.
And later in the bulletin, Civil and Local Government Staff Association of Ghana, CLOGSAG, warns of possible unrest over delayed implementation of new salary structure.
Later in business, we tell you why government has returned to the domestic market seeking in excess of 3 billion cedis in Treasury bills auction following 2-week winning streak.
On the international front, President Donald Trump issues sweeping executive order to achieve U.S. goal of putting humans back on the moon by 2028. We are live around the world on 3news.com. We are also streaming on Facebook and on YouTube, and we'll definitely be bringing you the big stories happening as Parliament prepares to rise. But let's start with that humanitarian story from the Volta region.
And Martin, it is rather an unfortunate incident because at least 4 persons have died in 2 separate bee attacks in the Accra North and the Anloga districts of the Volta region in a spate of a week. The latest incident happened at the EP Basic School in Anloga on Wednesday, killing 2 pupils. TV3's Faisal Abdul-Idris has more in this report.
Up in the trees here at the EP Basic School in Anloga is a bee nest that has been here for some time. On Wednesday, while playing football, school children here were said to have thrown stones in an attempt to retrieve the ball when it got stuck up in the tree. The bees were disturbed. They invaded the school, attacked both teachers and learners, resulting in the death of 2 people.
Teachers try a lot. They fight for the boys, the school boys and the girls a lot to save them, and the teachers to the beat bites them a lot, seriously, and the headmaster to his own is very serious. That 4 people where by their own is very serious. They are at Kitas Hospital before one of them died. It was the night 11:45 when they called me that another person to die.
4 of these students were brought into our emergency. We triaged and realized about 2 of them were in critical condition. The 2 that were in critical condition, there was a 9-year-old and a 3-year-old who came with severe anaphylaxis. That is when their body's immune system were reacting strongly to the bee sting. And unfortunately, we lost both of them. And the other 2 who were admitted to the pediatric wards fortunately have survived. One was mildly stung, so he had a mild reaction and was discharged today. And there's another one here with us who is not doing too bad. It looks like he'll make a full recovery.
At least 21 people were said to have been stung, leading to the abrupt closure of the school on Wednesday. The deceased peoples include Theodora Amaovi 9 and Michael Kumako. Families continue to grieve.
I
had her in my arms when the nurses began treatment on her. She was so restless and demanded that I took her out of the clinic. The nurses attempted to administer IV fluids, but it was not successful. While at it, she demanded for water. I gave her the water, and that was it. She was gone.
It's gone.
I am devastated, but I don't want to overthink it. And so I am comforting myself with the words of God. I got a call and rushed to the hospital, but upon arrival, I was told my daughter had passed. It is painful to send a child to school to become something good in the future, only for her to die in school. She was lively and was our source of joy. This devastating incident is the second to have been recorded in the Volta region in the space of a week. On Saturday, December 13, 2 adults reportedly died when a swarm of bees attacked them in a village near Avega in the Kachinov district. Faisal Abdul Idrisu, TV3 News.
A very unfortunate story there, and we'll see how the coming days pan out as the medical doctors try to help the other victims of the bee attack. Let's move on to labor-related issues now, and tension is mounting among members of the Civil and Local Government Staff Association, CLOGSAG, over government's failure to implement a new salary structure for its members. At a news conference in Accra, CLOGSAG leadership expressed deep frustration over what they describe as government's lack of commitment. Our reporter Daniel Opoku has more on this report.
The Civil and Local Government Staff Association, CLOGSAG, says patience among its members is wearing thin as the government continues to delay the implementation of a new salary structure. According to the association, in 2018, CLOGSAG leadership proposed a new salary structure for its members nationwide, separate from the current single-spine salary structure. Following negotiations, the then senior minister Yao Osafo-Mafo convened a meeting with CLOGSAG leadership, which culminated in the signing of a memorandum of understanding. The agreement stipulated that the implementation should begin in January 2023. However, the implementation was later postponed to January 2025, a deadline CLOGSAG says has still not been met. At a press conference in Accra, a Deputy Executive Secretary of CLOGSAG, Kwame Krakani, several reminders to the agreement have yielded no results, leaving members increasingly frustrated.
Do we need to disturb the current industrial atmosphere of civil service to be heard? We implore the government to negotiate in good faith in order to forestall any impending industrial action by the staff of the civil service and the local government service. We will not relent in our effort to get to our destination. It looks like there is only one message governments understand. CLOGSAG is prepared to take that line of action.
In a related development, Head of Civil Service Dr. Agredakun has commended CLOGSAG for its role in promoting a peaceful and labor-friendly environment.
And I'm confident that the enthusiasm and the resilience that have defined Ghana's civil service over the years will continue to propel us forward. I pray that in 2026, we apply the lessons learned and commit to improving our work processes, knowing that our collective effort will contribute to Ghana's government's risk-setting agenda and to our nation's development.
Well, let's do some Christmas stories, and the festive season is often characterized by a shortage of vehicles, heavy vehicular traffic, and last-minute shopping activities. Joseph Armstrong Gold Alogbe visited the Central Business District and reports that the area is experiencing heavy traffic and an acute shortage of vehicles, affecting both travelers and traders returning home from their marketplaces.
Transport in the capital, Accra, continues to pose challenges for commuters, with the situation worsening few days to Christmas. This is Accra Central. As business activities wind down for the day, hundreds of commuters and traders are left waiting, hoping to secure a commercial vehicle to their various destinations. For some commuters, the Metro Mass Transit buses offer relief during the Yuletide rush. However, only a few buses are operating at the terminals, leading to long waiting times.
Despite I have family members here, majority are at our place. So we decided to come here for pre-distant and we'll go back to our hometown to, let me say, spend the Christmas with our family members.
Everybody wants to go to his place and spend the Xmas there. Yeah, most of our friends here are going for Xmas, and some also came to buy their things and go back home.
Commercial vehicles, popularly known as trotro, continue to complement the metro services. At Circle, near the Central Business District, passengers form long queues as demand for transport outstrips supply. Some traders say the shortage of vehicles leave them stranded after a long day's work. We later visited some bus terminals where long-distance transport operators say they are ready for the Christmas rush.
We are ready for the Christmas. We are ready to transport every passenger to their destination. If you are going to Tamale, Techiman, Session, everywhere.
Drivers are also appealing to their colleagues to observe road safety measures to ensure an accident-free Christmas.
For the transport operators, they are ready for the festive season, but commuters are calling for increased numbers of vehicles, especially during the evening hours. To ease off the pressure, like you see, many more people stranded here after long day work with no vehicles. They are calling for more vehicles, particularly that of the Metro Mass transport system. Joseph Armstrong, Gold, TV3, Accra.
And still in the capital, the Accra Metropolitan Chief Executive Michael Kpakpo Alote has announced that from Monday, the 22nd of December 2025, some roads will be blocked to give market traders more space during the festive season. He said during this period, there will be a diversion of vehicles to use alternative routes to reduce traffic.
The Christmas holidays come with gridlock, congestion, and crime. However, the Accra Metropolitan Chief Executive, Michael Kpakpo Alote, is assuring visitors and residents of safety with heightened security measures, as the Assembly will operate a 24-hour system throughout the period.
Issue of security, issue of sanitation, we have the 24-hour team working 247 to make sure every waste that we make at the business sector will be collected. And the issue of security, we want to make sure that this festive seasons, we will not find ourselves wanting. Festive season like this, you see a lot of people will come to town just to come and steal. But this time we want the people to know that they can come and do their business freely and nothing will happen, they'll still go back home how they came.
Speaking at the Accra worship event, the Accra Metropolitan Chief Executive revealed that as part of efforts to clamp down on incalcitrant drivers who inflate transport fares, 6 drivers have been arrested and will be prosecuted.
The drivers that are taking extra fares, we started the operation last week. Yesterday, we caught some of them, so we are looking at prosecuting them. I want to start on this medium to tell the drivers that, listen, this is not a time to make money. Christmas period is time to exchange gifts. It's time to show love to each other. So this is the time they show love to the passengers.
In addition, the AMA will work with security agencies to tackle crime and ensure that residents can shop safely.
Well, Martin.
To our first one.
Yeah. Tonight, government has laid before Parliament the Minerals and Mining Royalty Regulations 2025, aimed at introducing variable royalty bands for gold, lithium, and other minerals. Legislative instrument establishes a sliding scale framework that allows royalty rates to be adjusted in line with fluctuations in global commodity prices. More in this report.
Acting Environment Minister Emmanuel Amakofi-Boa explained that based on current market prices, lithium attracts a royalty rate of 7%, which could rise to as much as 12% should prices increase. He addressed the press after laying the new instruments.
I'm proud to say that I have brought an elaborate regulation that gives us a sliding scale agreement. What is the advantage in that? The advantage is that it allows the state to capture the benefit in good times. This sliding scale also gives the companies consideration when prices tumble. in difficult times, then the adjustment will automatically also favor a lower royalties. What is important for investors? It gives them certainty that when the price tumbles, we will not be in trouble.
That is not all. The new deal also introduces a 1% community development fund dedicated to financing infrastructure projects in the Infantiman municipality. The Natural Resources Minister noted that the deal applies to all mining agreements, offers greater certainty and predictability for both government and investors.
I am excited about an enhanced lithium agreement that also embodies for the first time a 1% community development fund for the community that would transform the Infantiman community, so that when the resource is gone, we can look back and say that in this particular community, because of these resources, that is why we are seeing beautiful roads, we are seeing hospitals, we are seeing schools. That is what we've done.
Meanwhile, the minority has rejected the new deal, stating that Barari DV Ghana Limited had agreed to accept an agreement of 10% royalty rate even when lithium prices collapsed on the market. Ranking member of the Lands and Natural Resources Committee, Kweku Aprechum Sapong, argues that the deal undermines the public interest and weakens confidence in the country's resource governance framework.
One cannot reject a higher negotiated outcome in opposition and later defend a lower outcome in government using the same legal framework. That is not policy coherence, but policy regression.
And that's what's happening in Parliament. And as we speak, the House is still in session. We'll get updates, especially on Ghana tonight. But news we got a few minutes ago from the House of Parliament indicates that the current administration has made good a promise they made during campaign, which was to change the names of a number of universities that the previous administration had renamed. So the names that have been changed, or the universities that have been renamed, include the C.K. Tedem University of Technology and Applied Sciences. This current government has renamed it to the University of Technology and Applied Sciences, Navrongo. S.B. Dombo University of Business and Integrated Development Studies has been changed to the University of Business and Integrated Development Studies, WA. The Akentinapia Menka University of Skills Training and Entrepreneurial Development has now been changed to the University of Skills Training and Entrepreneurial Development in Kumasi. And this has stoked quite a conversation between the two sides of the divide in Parliament. Details of that will come to you at Ghana Tonight, on Ghana Tonight, and other issues as the House prepares to rise for the Christmas festivities. On to some other stories now. From Monday, the 22nd of December, over 1.5 million Ghanaians from more than 150,000 households are to benefit from the LEAP program, and they will be receiving their grants for the 99th cycle. Each eligible beneficiary will receive at least 320 Ghana cedis. Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, Dr. Agnes Na Momolate, addressed the media in Accra.
Households with one eligible member will receive 320 Ghana cedis. Households with two eligible members will receive 380 Ghana cedis. Households with three eligible members will receive 440 Ghana cedis, and households with four or more eligible members will receive 530 Ghana cedis. The timely disbursement of the grants since the beginning of this year is a direct outcome of the government's reset agenda, an agenda built on responsiveness, reliability, and a clear focus on the needs of the extremely poor and vulnerable. Our vision extends beyond this payment cycle. In line with the commitment of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, to strengthen social protection delivery and build a more inclusive society, The Ministry of Finance has allocated a historic 1.1 billion to the LEAP program for the coming period.
And 3 London Beach committees in Secondary Takoradi who dishonored an invitation by the National Premix Fuel Secretariat to render account to their communities for the period 2017-2024 risk being penalized. The administrator for the Secretariat, Ebo Mensah, who was speaking at the First of Accountability series at the Secondary London Beach in the Western region, said it was untenable that former LBCs failed to render accounts for 53% of proceeds of fuel sold during their period.
The Accountability Series by the National Premix Fuel Secretariat is aimed at compelling all the London Beach committees to render accounts to their communities. Under the Regulation 27(1) LI 2233, Premix fuel sales generate margins where 53% goes to fishing communities for development, with a 47% split among committee members. At the first stop at the Secondary London Beach, the 2017 to 2024 committees at 3 London beaches in the Western region, namely Secondary, New Takoradi in the Secondary Takoradi metropolis, and Aboisi in the Shama municipality, failed to turn up to render their accounts. Administrator for the Secretariat, Ebo Mensah, who described it as untenable, indicated that they will be granted another opportunity.
Every London Beach committee that receives Premix and sells Premix is going to be held accountable, and they are going to be accountable to the community, because after selling Premix, the 53% that is supposed to go for community development is not for individuals.
He, however, commended the 2025 committees for being transparent so far.
The London beaches that started operating this year in all the 3 locations, Secondary, New Takoradi, and Aboisi, rendered account of their stewardship for the year 2025 as at now. So the consignment that they have received, they actually indicated that to us, and then they also went ahead to let us know the amount of money that has accrued in the Community Development Fund for community development projects.
The Accountability Series will move to other London beaches after the Christmas holidays. Irama Smith, TV3 News, Secondary.
The festive season clearly is upon us, and I'm sure many of you are excited about the festive season that we are in. And Ecobank Ghana has held a festival of 9 lessons and carols service as part of its end-of-year activities to recognize the contributions of staff members and appreciate the loyalty of its customers. According to management, the gathering also serves to officially close the business year while reaffirming Ecobank's commitment to quality service delivery in the year ahead.
Ecobank Ghana is a major player in the country's banking sector, providing retail, corporate and investment banking services nationwide. As part of its corporate culture, the bank uses the end-of-year engagement during the festive period to review performance and strengthen stakeholder relations for the year ahead. Speaking at this year's carol service, the Managing Director of Ecobank Ghana, Abna Osei-Poku, encouraged staff and customers to let their lives and actions this festive season reflect the true essence of the celebration.
Let your life and your actions demonstrate it's Christmas time. And at Ecobank, our guiding principle is to consistently delight our customers by keeping you at the heart of every decision we make. This focus shapes our choices, strengthens our proposition, and ensures that everything we do is anchored in delivering meaningful value.
The head of marketing for the bank, Regina Ofori, urged customers to be vigilant against scammers during the festive season to avoid falling prey to their tactics.
Whenever you receive any email, any SMS, any WhatsApp purporting to come from Ecobank, please take your time, pause and think before you act. Ecobank will never call you and ask for your bank card or your Ghana card details. Whenever in doubt, please call our toll-free number 080,000 3225 or simply walk to any of the nearest branch.
The annual event brought together staff, clients, and key partners in the celebration of faith, gratitude, and unity, accompanied by music.
Now, MTN Yellow Ladies have donated a total sum of 200,000 to the breast cancer care unit of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital and Breast Care International. This generous donation will go towards 14 women who are struggling to pay their surgical and other care bills while undergoing treatment.
During the Breast Cancer Awareness Month in October, MTN Yellow Ladies saw a need to make contributions towards supporting breast cancer patients. On December 19, the ladies made a donation to the breast cancer unit at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. 14 women were beneficiaries of the benevolent donation. A sum of 150,000 Ghana cedis was donated to Kolebu Teaching Hospital, and 50,000 Ghana cedis was made to Breast Care International to help them further their advocacy for breast cancer awareness. Dr. Josephine Nsafol is the General Surgeon at the Breast Cancer Unit of Kolebu Teaching Hospital.
So today we received a donation from the MTN Yellow Ladies. The funds they've donated to the unit is for treatment of breast cancer. So it's going to pay for 14 selected breast cancer patients throughout from beginning to end of their treatment. And this is very significant because it's going to make a huge difference in the lives of these ladies.
The Group Chief Finance Officer of MTN Ghana, Antoinette Kofi, urged other companies in Ghana to follow in their footsteps.
MTN Ghana believes in giving back to the communities in which we operate. We believe that our success is derived from the communities that we operate in. We are calling out, actually. We have started the process, but we hope that it's like a pebble thrown into the middle of a stream, and we are hoping the ripple effect will come on. We call out to all corporate bodies in Ghana to support this cause.
Still watching News 360. Stay with us. Business, sports, entertainment are all coming up.
Good evening. Welcome to the business segment on News 360. I am Minu Afol. Government returned to the domestic market today with a target of 3.792 billion cedis through its weekly Treasury bill auction. The move aims to raise short-term liquidity through the 91-day, 182-day and 364-day tenors to meet states' immediate financing needs and to refinance maturing debts.
Today's auction comes on the heels of 2 consecutive weeks of oversubscription, signaling a robust appetite for government securities among local investors. In the previous 2 sessions, bids tendered by banks and the public exceeded government's initial target, allowing the Treasury to accept more than it had originally requested. There is significant cash reserves within the domestic banking sector looking for safe haven investment. While interest rates have shown signs of stabilizing, T-bills remain a preferred instrument for risk-averse investors compared to other market assets. There is growing confidence in government's ability to manage its domestic debt profile as part of broader macroeconomic reforms. The yields on these investments will be a key focal point for traders today. In recent weeks, interest rates have remained relatively stable, with the 91-day bill hovering around the 11% mark. Investors will be watching to see if the high demand continues to push yields slightly downwards, or if government will maintain current rates to ensure it meets its 3.792 billion cedis goal. The result of today's auction, which will be released by the Bank of Ghana, will serve as a critical barometer for market sentiment as the year draws to a close.
Now, the government says it will prioritize local businesses and personnel as it rolls out Ghana's Big Push agenda. The initiative, described as the country's flagship national infrastructure program, is designed to accelerate growth and job creation through a $10 billion investment in roads, housing, water systems, and other critical projects.
Originally proposed by former President John Mahama and the National Democratic Congress, the Big Push is framed as a transformational agenda to modernize Ghana's infrastructure base. Speaking at the 3rd Ghana Construction Industry Awards on behalf of the President, Kenneth Gilbert Ejay, said the project aims to strengthen the local industry alongside its wider development goals.
Local participation seeks to intentionally prioritize Ghanaian contractors, consultants, artisans, and suppliers across the entire infrastructure value chain. Our national vision is clear. Ghanaian companies must progressively take leadership roles and actively Ghana's development agenda, acting not just as spectators, but as key agents in the nation-building process.
Outgoing chairman of the chamber, Emmanuel Tete Mate, emphasized the need for robust financial engineering to propel the local construction sector further.
The industry requires specific tailored financing instruments such as infrastructure bonds, escrow-backed project accounts, credit enhancement mechanisms, and pension or insurance-backed funding models. We call for stronger collaboration between government, financial institutions, and industry players to de-risk construction financing, reduce borrowing costs, and enable contractors, especially indigenous firms, to scale sustainably.
Away from that, the Ghana Chamber of Construction Industry says it is hopeful that the government's Big Push agenda will prioritize the settlement of outstanding payments owed to its members and help end the persistent cycle of delayed payments for completed projects. Speaking to 3 Business, the newly elected chairman of the chamber, Nana Oparikwafo I, said engagements have already been held with the sector minister, and he is confident the concerns raised will be addressed promptly.
It's about work. And when you work, you look forward to be paid. We hear from the current administration about a lot of debts regarding road construction. So it was quite an alarming news when we hear about this debt. But can May this Big Push agenda relieves us from those sort of trouble. For instance, we have had a couple of meetings with the road minister who has given us a framework as to how even the arrears are going to be retired by the government, and the current big push agenda, which has stipulated that projects that are constructed will be paid within a very short period of time. And that is all what we are looking for.
Well, that's how we wrap up the business segments on News 360. I'm Menu Afo. We have updates of what's happening on the forex and commodities markets. Stay with us.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to the sports segment here on News 360. My name is Bill Ishen. Now, to our first story, Legacy Rights have lined up a host of blockbuster bouts for Saturday's boxing event, which is dubbed The Showdown, taking place at the University of Ghana Stadium. Now, the penultimate action took place at the Bokum Arena, where all boxers checked their weights to ensure they met the required categories ahead of their respective bouts. Now, a sparsely populated Bokum Arena was on cloud nine as fans reveled and cheered on the boxers who took their turns on the scale. Our fans were thrown into a frenzy when Seth Jima, widely known as Freezy McBones, came up for his weigh-in session as he's expected to line up against Jonathan Tete. Now, the headline fighters, Dan Aziz and Craig Richards, were in high spirits as they took turns on the scale as well. Young prodigy, that is Theophilus Alote, was also all smiles as he checked his weight ahead of his fight with Philippines' Jay Rakinel. Now, the Minister for Sports and Recreation, Kofi Adams, stated exclusively to 3 Sports that Ghana will be willing to take anybody who adds quality to the Black Stars ahead of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. This comes on the back of a fiery debate on whether or not to add dual nationals, with names like Edin Ketia and Callum Hudson-Odoi becoming prominent in the media space.
We are not going to take anybody that will help the team's performance out if there is space to bring the person in. We will not take anybody out that we think will help the team perform better. We will not. We are a very respectable nation. We are very much aware, maybe people who in the past decided that they would not play or they will not do this, those issues are there. But we are going for the World Cup. We want to go with the best. If our best is in local league here, we will go with it. If our best is found within Africa, we will go with it. If our best is in Europe or is in the Americas, we will look for it, put it together, and go with it. Because at the end of the day, we must give the fans something to continue to celebrate. We are not going to play just group stage games that is automatic. As for the 3 games, it's automatic. Whether you are winning or you are losing, you play them. Ghana, Panama in Toronto will play. Ghana, England in Boston will play. Ghana, Croatia in Philadelphia will play. Those ones is given per that we have qualified. But we want to go beyond that. And to be able to go beyond that, you are coming against either great goalkeepers, great midfielders, great defenders. So you must also have people who can also develop a strategy together with the coaching system to go through all these mazes and put the ball in the net of the opponent.
That's it for the sports segment here on News 360. My name is Bill Shen. There's more in the bulletin after this break.
3 Entertainment.
Well, good evening and welcome to the entertainment news segment here on News 360. My name is Noella Donko. Now, legendary Jamaican artist Fantan Moja has arrived in Ghana ahead of the highly anticipated Bhim Festival. Now, head of PR for Benetton Music Group, Vida Educhumwa Boating, has confirmed that all preparations are in place for the much talked about festival, which promises fans an unforgettable music experience. Introduced 9 years ago, the multi-award-winning dancehall icon Stonebwoy's Bhim Festival has grown into one of Ghana's most celebrated music events, eagerly anticipated by fans each year. The festival stands out for the high level of intentional planning that goes into every detail, delivering an unforgettable music experience for patrons. Ahead of its 10th anniversary, legendary Jamaican reggae artist Fantan Moja has arrived in Ghana for the Bhim Festival, promising an exciting treat for reggae and dancehall lovers.
Rasta got soul, reggae music rocking my bones.
Well, for the first time, we're going to try to do our best. Please your people, you know. And give thanks again. Invite us here. But we're here now. So, we in Jamaica love the music and show it to our next height. Yeah. So just know that. For you see Fantan come here, so when they talk about Jamaica, people them know of Stonebwoy. Right there side there. Jamaicans. Right there side there. Yes.
Head of Public Relations for Benetton Music Group, Vida Educhumwa Boating, has confirmed that all preparations are complete for the much talked about festival, assuring fans an experience of a lifetime.
It is intense because it's the 10th anniversary. I mean, it's no mean achievement for an artist like Stonebwoy, being relevant, consistent with this festival over the years. There are people who plan their holidays around this festival. There are people who come in just to see him perform, because it's always an experience. He is a very, very good performer, and any moment on that stage is a golden moment for patrons of the concert. So the intentionality is because we need to feed people with quality, wholesome entertainment, and that is what Stonebwoy is about.
Looking forward to that. Now to some more stories. Labadi Beach Hotel has officially handed over the keys to the renovated residence of the late veteran actor Mauli Semevo, offering relief to his family. Now the gesture comes in response to a call by President John Mahama for corporate support following the tragic fire incident that claimed the actor's life. The renovated residence of the late veteran actor Mauli Semevo has been officially handed over to his family at a simple but emotional ceremony in Adenta. The house, which was completely gutted by fire some months ago, led to the tragic death of the respected actor and left his family displaced. Following the incident, President John Mahama made a public appeal to corporate bodies to support the bereaved family by helping to restore the damaged property. Responding to the call, the Labadi Beach Hotel undertook the renovation of the house as part of its corporate social responsibility initiative. The project involved extensive construction works to ensure the home was safe, decent, and fit for habitation. At the handover ceremony, Managing Director of the Labadi Beach Hotel, David Edwafo, expressed their commitment to supporting communities in times of need.
We are touched by what happened, and so that is what prompted us to do what we did. For us to see the joy in the eyes of comfort gladdens our hearts, because it's so touching, and it's beautiful to see this moment come to fruition. And I must say that His Excellency the President is someone that we all should emulate, because he was touched by this and called for action. All the finishing here was by His Excellency. We did the completion and the refurbishment, and he finished the place. So he has done so well for mankind, and to prove that we honor our heroes, because as is always said, a nation that does not honor its heroes is not worth dying for. So,
family members of the late actor expressed gratitude for the gesture, describing it as a source of relief and dignity after months of hardship.
A very big thank you, starting with His Excellency the President, and then Labadi Beach Hotel, SNITS, and then my very own Mr. Beautiful, and every other person who took a part to make this work and then restore this place. I am very, very, very grateful, and I really appreciate all of you.
The renovated house now stands as a symbol of compassion, corporate responsibility, and national solidarity in honor of the late Mauli Semevo, whose contributions to Ghana's creative arts industry remain unforgettable. Well, that's it for the entertainment news segment here on News360. My name is Noella Donko.
Thank you, Noella, for those updates, entertainments. Let's go to the international front now. President Donald Trump enshrined the U.S. goal of putting humans back on the moon by 2028 and defending space from weapons threats in a sweeping executive order. This is the first major space policy move of his administration's second term. The order, issued hours after billionaire private astronaut and former SpaceX customer Jared Isaacman was sworn in as NASA's 16th administrator, also reorganized national space policy under Trump's chief science advisor Michael Krassions. Titled Ensuring American Space Superiority, the order calls on the Pentagon and U.S. intelligence agencies to create a space security strategy, urges efficiency among private contractors, and seeks demonstrations of missile defense.
And in more international news, the South African government has dismissed accusations by the U.S. government that it has harassed and intimidated American officials during a raid on a center processing applications by white South Africans for refugee status in the U.S. Tuesday's raid saw 7 Kenyans expelled from South Africa for working in the country illegally. The U.S. accused South Africa of publishing the passport details of its officials, saying this was unacceptable and warned of severe consequences. That's it for our package this evening. Thank you so much for watching. I am Martin Asiedu-Data.
And I am Grace Hamwa-Jaman. It's going to be an exciting weekend, Martin. We have boxing coming up. McBrown returns to Onya Showtime this weekend.
And also, excellence.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you don't want to miss out on any of these. Thank you for joining us. Good evening.